I've decided to do a how-to guide on fitting the GIVI top box mount to CRF1100's Africa Twin. So this is a bike I've not had for very long. I'm going to be doing a few different things to it over the course of owning it, so things like engine bars, stuff like that, but I'm going to start off with a top box rack because I always find a top box is massively useful on a bike. So unfortunately the standard, I'll show you the standard Honda rack that comes with it, although it's metal and it's very sturdy, it does come with a rather annoying sticker which says you can't put any more than 10 kilos on it, which is a bit rubbish. It's also quite stubby, it doesn't stick out very far. I mean, the top box would come out quite a lot further. So this has got the optional standard Honda pannier kit on it. So it has some massive aluminium panniers that stick out the sides. They stick out a long way. This bike came with them. I'm not sure whether I would have bothered paying for them myself. They were part of a deal when I bought it, so I kind of got them. I'd only probably really use them for touring because they're just too wide, and if you're filtering through traffic, then you just become a roadblock for other bikes trying to get past and filter as well. So I always tend to use a top box. So I've got, this is my trusty old GIVI. I'm not even sure what it is, but it served me well over on all the bikes that I've had. It's not particularly rugged and adventure-y looking, but I think it'll be fine. So the next thing is, unfortunately, in order to fit that top box to this bike, you have to fit a rather sturdy GIVI add-on, which is really annoying because this has got 4 really chunky mounting points that are really nice and thick. So it's a real shame that you can't just sort of bolt something straight to it and that be it. But unfortunately, because it's only rated for 10 kilos, you have to fit a bunch of supports. So I've got the stuff on the top there ready to go. I'll unpack that and I'll show you what comes with the kit, and then we'll get it fitted. Okay, so this is the stuff that I bought from Sports Bike Shop. Can't rate them highly enough. Brilliant bunch of people. Delivery really fast. They're great for returns, so a big thumbs up to them. I always tend to buy stuff from them. Their prices are really good as well. And if you do tend to find a better price online and it's equivalent in terms of delivery and everything, then they're normally really good at price matching. So can't really beat them, to be honest. And to be honest, for me, where I live, they're just down the road, so absolutely brilliant. So this is the kit that comes with it. So this is the SR1178 kit. Now, I didn't realise actually until I unpacked it that actually it does bolt to the standard mounting points. I thought it actually mounted somewhere else. I thought it was a set of arms. So that's good. So at least it's using the standard rack that comes with it. So here's what you get. So you've got left and right arms, which mount underneath and then support these plates. So everything's sliding off. So these are really quite heavy, so more than up to the job. And then there's a big bag of fixings. It's a shame it's black, I have to say. The bike itself, everything is silver. Yeah, that is a bit disappointing. I didn't really think of that, but hey ho, never mind. So the instructions are fairly simple. So we mount these plates to the rack that's on the bike already. So that's that step. Then underneath we have to take these bolts out because we need to space them out and then fit these arms. And then once we've done that, then we need to, what do we need to do? We need to fit the arms to support the plates. And then depending on the plate that you've bought, there are different instructions on what you need to do. So this particular rack supports the M5, the M7, M5M, M6, an M8, or an M9. Just been figuring out the order that these things need to go in. It wasn't quite obvious. There's a mix of different size washers involved, but the gist of it is that the first step, which is fitting these plates to the bike, involves using these hex screws with these little tiny thin stainless steel washers, and then out of the black washers that come with it, these are the biggest ones, so they then go underneath to secure the plates from underneath. And then once you've done that, the arms then fit with this combination, so you end up with a washer first, then like a spacing sleeve, then a spring washer, and then these longer sort of cap-headed screws. Once you've done that, then there are just these two screws. So that's for attaching the arms to those plates. I thought it was worth covering because it wasn't massively straightforward. It wasn't too bad, but right. So let's get these mounted. Okay, so that's one sort of on, nice and simple. 14mm socket underneath and a 5mm Allen key or whatever you've got on top. What I have done is I've just put some insulation tape on here. These are the only touch points that the plates actually have, because these stick kind of proud above the rack. So I just thought, given that this is silver, it's not bare metal, it's actually painted. I just thought it might protect it slightly, so I'll just put a bit of that on. So I'll do the other one. Just a little bit of advice: I would always leave these just slightly loose to start with, because you need to put the arms on underneath as well, and until everything's actually on, you don't know how it's going to line up. So leave it slightly loose and then tighten everything up afterwards. Okay, so I've got one of these arms now fitted, both of these plates fitted. I don't mind saying it was a real pain getting these in, because you've got to get that and then a washer and then the actual thing itself, the arm itself, and then there's this big spacer underneath, and then another washer. It's a bit fiddly. What's slightly interesting is that the screws that came out were absolutely tiny, 8mm. So I'm not quite sure how much support that these are actually going to provide, but you know, it feels reasonably sturdy at the moment. Lines up okay, so I can get it all tightened up later. So here it is. The plates are all fitted. The arms the supporting arms are there. Looks a bit peculiar. I think it'll look better with the top plate on, but I didn't expect this kind of rise in height between the standard rack and these. I'm sure with the top plate on it'll look absolutely fine, but yeah, not sure. But everything went on fine. Contrary to what I said earlier, it's a 13mm socket underneath, not 14. But everything went together absolutely fine. In the top box plate, so you have 4 countersunk screws, 4 lock nuts, 4 washers, pretty straightforward, and these 2 rubber bungs. Now the rubber bungs go in whichever 2 holes you're not using, so either 2 holes at the back for those screws or 2 holes in the sides for these screws, and then the rubber bungs go in whichever holes you're not using. I guess that's the sort of dampen the top box and stop it from rattling around too much. Okay, so the top plate is now on. Looks pretty good. Went on really easily. 4mm Allen key on top and a 10mm nut on the bottom, so there's 4 of those. These little rubber bungs are a bit of a pain to get in, but they're in, they're fine. Yeah, pretty pleased. It looks good. I'm glad I went for this because it does hide. This aluminium sort of flares down, so it kind of hides these extra flanges underneath. Yeah, looks pretty good, matches the bike quite well. Okay, so the top box is on. Slightly annoying thing is that I have to pull down incredibly hard to get it to click in place. I'm not sure whether it's my top box being a bit older. It is quite old, I've had it quite a long time. Whether it's slightly warped underneath, but not a lot of room under there. There are some rubber bits here. Maybe if I took those off it would click in easier, but then it would be rubbing the top plate. So it's on, it's not going anywhere, but it's a bit hard to get on and off, which I wasn't expecting, because on my M3 plate it was really easy to get on and off. So yeah, this is a bit stiffer. But yeah, it looks okay. It doesn't really suit the bike, so I think at some point I may probably sell this and then maybe go for a more of a sort of aluminium adventure-y sort of tough looking thing. But for now it looks fine, it'll do. It's mostly going to be for commuting when we all start going back to work. So yeah, pretty pleased. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody. I wasn't sure what to do for a top box on one of these. The original Honda one that matched the panniers was about £1,200. I wanted to keep this because I've got a passenger backrest already fitted. They're quite expensive to buy for the Honda, the standard Honda top box. So I kind of wanted to make sure I use this one. So yeah, I hope that helps somebody. Thanks for watching.